Leadership is not a title, it is not a position printed on a business card, and it is certainly not authority imposed from above. Leadership is a feeling. It's the quiet force that makes people want to walk beside you even when the road is uncertain. We often think leadership is about control, about giving orders, setting rules, demanding results. But real leadership begins the moment you understand this simple truth. People don't follow power, they follow connection. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many believe it comes with a title, a corner office, or authority stamped by hierarchy. But leadership doesn't live in titles. It lives in the space between people. It's not something assigned, it's something felt. When someone chooses to follow you, not because they have to, but because they want to, that's leadership. It's built in moments of sincerity, in how you show up when things are uncertain, and in how you treat people when there's nothing to gain. A true leader doesn't demand attention, they earn respect, they don't command loyalty, they inspire it. And the truth is, anyone can step into leadership at any moment, not by changing their position, but by changing their presence. When you begin to see leadership not as power over people, but as responsibility for people, everything shifts. You stop trying to prove yourself, and you start trying to serve something bigger than yourself, and that's where real leadership begins. People don't follow power. Power might force movement, but it never inspires commitment. People follow connection, that invisible thread that makes them feel understood, respected, and valued. Think about the leaders who have influenced your life. It wasn't their authority that drew you in. It was how they made you feel. They listened, they noticed, they cared. Connection is built in small moments. Eye contact, genuine questions, remembering details, acknowledging effort. These things seem simple, but they are powerful, because when people feel connected, they feel safe. And when they feel safe, they give their best. Leadership is not about standing above people. It's about standing with them. It's about creating an environment where people don't feel like resources, but like human beings with voices that matter. When connection is strong, direction becomes easier. People don't resist, they align. They don't withdraw, they engage. And that's the difference. Power may move people temporarily, but connection moves them willingly, and that's what sustains true leadership. If you want to lead people, don't start with strategies or systems. Start with awareness. Ask yourself, how do I make people feel seen? Because being seen is one of the deepest human needs. It means someone recognizes your effort, your struggles, your value. It means you're not invisible. When people feel seen, they open up, they trust, they engage, and leadership becomes easier, not because you're controlling them, but because they're choosing to be part of what you're building. Building trust isn't about big speeches or grand gestures. It's about consistency. It's about doing what you say, showing up when it matters, and being honest even when it's uncomfortable. Trust grows slowly, but once it's there, it becomes your greatest strength as a leader. Without it, even the best plans fail. With it, even difficult paths become possible. So before you try to influence others, take a moment to understand them. See them, hear them, value them, because when people feel seen, they don't just follow directions, they follow you. Trust is the foundation of everything in leadership. Without it, nothing lasts. You can have authority, intelligence, and resources, but if people don't trust you, they will hold back. Trust is built through listening, not just hearing words, but understanding meaning. It's built through empathy, putting yourself in someone else's position and responding with care. And it's built through consistency, showing up the same way every time, especially when it's hard. People watch what you do more than they listen to what you say. If your actions match your words, trust grows. If they don't, it disappears quickly, and once broken, it's difficult to rebuild. That's why leadership requires integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. When trust is present, communication becomes open, collaboration becomes natural, and challenges become shared instead of avoided. People feel safe to contribute, to take risks, to be honest, and that's when teams truly thrive. Trust isn't just part of leadership, it is leadership. There is a clear difference between managing people and leading them. A manager focuses on tasks, deadlines, and outcomes. They ensure things get done, but a leader goes beyond that. A leader focuses on people, their motivation, their growth, their sense of purpose. Managers often create compliance. People do what is required because they have to. Leaders create commitment. People go beyond what is required because they want to, and that difference changes everything. When people are committed, they bring energy, creativity, and ownership. They care about the result because they feel connected to it. Leadership is not about controlling performance. It's about inspiring it. It's about understanding what drives people and aligning that with a shared goal. When you lead effectively, you don't need to push constantly. The momentum builds naturally. People take initiative, they support each other, they strive for excellence not because they're told to, but because they believe in what they're doing. And that belief is what transforms ordinary teams into extraordinary ones. A powerful leader creates a vision, not just a plan, but a picture of a future that people can believe in. A clear direction removes confusion. A meaningful purpose creates motivation. And when people can see themselves in that vision, they feel connected to it. Vision is not about complexity, it's about clarity. It answers the question, where are we going? But more importantly, it answers, why does it matter? When people understand the purpose behind their work, their effort changes. It becomes more focused, more intentional, more passionate. A leader doesn't just communicate tasks, they communicate meaning. They help people see how their contributions matter, how their role fits into something larger. And when that happens, work transforms from obligation into purpose. People don't just show up, they show up with intention. They invest themselves fully, and that's the power of vision. It doesn't force people forward. It pulls them towards something they want to be part of. Leadership is not about speaking the most, it's about listening the most. It's about asking questions instead of making assumptions, and empowering others instead of controlling them. When you listen, you learn. When you ask, you understand. And when you empower, you unlock potential. People don't grow under constant control. They grow when they are trusted, when they are given responsibility, and when they feel their contributions matter. Sharing ownership doesn't weaken your leadership, it strengthens it. It creates a culture where people feel accountable, not because they are monitored, but because they care. Leadership behaviors are often simple, but they require discipline. It takes effort to pause and listen. It takes humility to ask for input. It takes confidence to let others take the lead. But when you practice these behaviors consistently, something powerful happens. People begin to step up. They take initiative, they think creatively, and they become leaders themselves. And that is the ultimate goal of leadership, not to create followers, but to develop more leaders. There is a paradox at the heart of leadership. The more you try to control people, the less they truly follow you. Control creates resistance, it limits creativity, it reduces trust, but when you empower people, everything changes. Empowerment builds confidence, it encourages ownership, it creates trust. When people feel trusted, they rise to the expectation. They take responsibility not because they are forced to, but because they want to. Letting go of control can feel uncomfortable. It requires trust not just in others, but in yourself. It means accepting that people may do things differently than you would. But different doesn't mean wrong. Often it leads to innovation. Leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about creating an environment where answers can emerge from anyone. When you shift from control to empowerment, you don't lose influence, you multiply it. Because now leadership is not coming from one person, it's flowing through the entire team. If you want to inspire action, you need to go beyond instructions. People don't give their best effort just because they are told what to do. They give their best when they understand where they are going, why it matters, and how they are valued in the process. Showing the goal provides direction, Explaining the why provides meaning, and valuing people provides motivation. When these three elements come together, something powerful happens. People become engaged, they become invested. They take ownership of the outcome. Leadership is not about pushing people to act. It's about creating conditions where action feels natural. When people feel valued, they don't hold back. They contribute fully, they collaborate willingly, and they persist even when challenges arise. Because now, they're not just working for a result, they're working for something they believe in. And belief is one of the strongest forces in human behavior. Leadership is not always about standing in front and leading the way. Sometimes it's about walking beside people, supporting them as equals. Sometimes it's about stepping behind and allowing others to shine. Knowing when to lead from each position is what makes leadership effective. When you stand in front, you provide direction. When you walk beside, you build trust. When you stand behind, you build confidence in others. Leadership is flexible. It adapts to the needs of the moment and the people involved. It's not about being the center of attention. It's about creating space for others to grow. When leaders step back and let others lead, they send a powerful message. I trust you, and that trust builds confidence. It encourages people to step forward, to take risks, to develop their own leadership abilities. True leadership is not measured by how many people follow you, but by how many people grow because of you. At the end of the day, leadership is not about being obeyed. Obedience is temporary. It lasts only as long as authority is present. But belief is lasting. When people believe in you, they don't just follow instructions, they follow your vision. They support your decisions, they stand with you, even in difficult times. Earning belief requires authenticity. It requires honesty, consistency, and a genuine commitment to people. It's not something you can demand. It's something you earn over time, and once you have it, it becomes your greatest strength. Because people who believe in you don't just work with you, they grow with you. They push through challenges with you, they celebrate success with you, and together you create something meaningful. So don't aim to be a leader people obey, aim to be a leader people believe in, because that is where true leadership lives, not in authority, but in trust, connection, and shared purpose.